Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out the don'ts of the Cotswolds, the prettiest villages in England. Don't do these things when you're there. Take notes.
Hey the fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's
Hey,
World.
Mark.
Today we're in the Cotswolds in Byberry, and today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of visiting the Cotswolds, because this is one of the most beautiful parts of England you can come to, the prettiest villages. I mean, it truly is an amazing experience to be here.
Don't pee in the stream.
But there's some things you should know before you come, so we want to kind of give you the info, the down low, so you can get all the ups and downs from all these beautiful hills and beautiful buildings and beautiful cottages and thatched roofs you'll see all over the Cotswolds.
There's a lot of people
and
roaming
the first thing I
around.
want to kind of tell you is don't forget to bring the right pair of shoes when you do come here, because you will be doing a lot of walking when you're here.
Okay.
And the thing is, there's the Cotswold Way that you can do. It's about a 100-mile, pathway you can walk along and walk
100
through and take in
miles?
the hills and the sheep and the villages and all the kind of stuff. But I want to tell you this: don't think that's the only pathway. There's tons of public
Damn.
pathways you can walk on and hike here.
It's 100 miles? Cotswolds Way? I want to see this map. 100 miles? 100 kilometers. Oh, 1,500 challengers will either take part in a 100 kilometer, 50 kilometer, or 25 kilometer looped route through the heart of the Cotswolds. Wow, that is far. So I guess they have, camping around?
But it really is important that you do have the right kind of shoes. So you'll be in some towns, you'll be in some villages, but also you'll be on dirt roads and dirt pathways and stuff. And so do have a heads up for that. And so make sure you have the right shoes. So no flip-flops, no Crocs, no high heels kind of stuff. So good sturdy shoes for when you're going to walk around here. And when you are walking around, please don't forget to close the gate behind you on those pathways, okay? Because you don't want either sheep wandering off. They're for lunch later. I will say, don't get overwhelmed by the number of tourists that do come to certain spots, like here in Byberry. It just gets overwhelmed. Some of the other small towns do as too. So planning is important when you're going to get here, to beat the tour buses, to beat all the groups. It is kind of important to know. So just be aware of that, because it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. And one thing I gotta say to you, don't forget that these cottages you're going around, all these places you're going around the Cotswolds, those are people's homes. So don't be like peeking in their windows or taking pictures of their houses like inside and stuff.
Yeah.
Be aware of that, because that's their actual homes.
What a strange place to live. Tourists just walking around, peeking in your windows. I don't know if I would like that. Actually, I know I wouldn't.
When you do your
like
research about the Cotswolds, they're going to oversell Byberry way too much. It's nice to go through, but with all the extra people that are here and just how frustrating it can be, honestly, you're probably going to enjoy other parts of the Cotswolds better. So this is one that I would say, don't think of this is going to be your highlight. Think this is going to be your beautiful, yet slightly frustrating with all the tourist light, would be the best way to put it. But Byberry actually has a few things to see when you are here. Yes, you got Arlington Road you can go to, but there's also the mill you can see. And there's a nice park here as well. But just know that there's a lot more to see when you come to the Cotswolds just going to Byberry.
Where is Byberry exactly? Let's look at that on a map. Byberry. Right. Oh. Okay. Not too far from London. Let's look at some photos. What? This is why everyone wants to go there. It's so picturesque that it looks fake. You know? Beautiful. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Very nice.
It really is beautiful, any of the towns you go to, and that's one thing I gotta say is, don't think there's just one specific place you have to visit when you come to the Cotswolds, because there's so many towns, so many villages, so many places to see, so many beautiful nature sites, so many pathways. There's not just one highlight, there's so many. So if you're in Candom, you do have the market hall, which is still here, and there's still people doing things inside, but it's just one of these just beautiful places you're going to really love enjoying. It is a market town, so that's why you have the square. But also you have the St. James Church up the hill, or the wool church, because the wool money really paid for a lot of stuff here. And I think that's one thing you need to notice is don't be surprised by the bipolar way that you have such small towns and villages, but such massive churches, because that...
I grew up in the southeast United States, so that won't surprise me at all. What's the name of this town? Candom. Okay. Candom. Oh. Okay. Yes, very close to Byberry. Byberry.
Bipolar way that you have such small towns and villages but such massive churches, because that wool, yes, that wool paid for those churches. So people were like, hey, we've done very well, let's help support our town and put some grandiose churches when we're there. And yeah, the wool church, St. James Church here in Shipping Candom, is a great example of that. And when you are going around, I will say this. One, don't forget to get parking anytime you get a chance, because you have these thin roads, small places. Sometimes there's a parking lot, sometimes they're not.
Okay.
So whenever you get a chance, park. Okay, and just walk into town.
Like
it's
Los
not that big of a
Angeles.
deal. You know, Shipping Camden here is a bigger town, so you have some parking spots, you have things to go. But some of the smaller ones, you might have to park up the road and walk in. So just be careful with that. But honestly, I do have to say, don't forget to factor in the light you have, the daylight hours, because you come in the summer, you can be seeing, you know, villages until 10 o'clock at night. You're coming in the wintertime, you can see villages until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
What time is sunset in Byberry? 7:44. That's reasonable. Maybe he was exaggerating about 10 o'clock. It's exaggeration, I think.
So that's one of the things you really have to factor in terms of when you're going to get up, when you're going to go doing things, when you take your break. Maybe in the wintertime, you focus on having, you know, dinner later, you know, and doing that as your evening thing. Whereas during the summertime, hey, we can have a nice lunch because it's going to be light longer, so you can kind of adjust to that. So really, factor in those daylight hours. Don't feel you have to rent a car and enjoy the Cotswolds. You can enjoy it without a car, okay? There are plenty of tours that will take you around. Also, there's public transportation. Now, does it get to every village? No, but it'll get you to a lot of the good ones. So you can actually take the train in to some of the towns, you know, and then from there, take the local buses around. Or you can take the National Express in from different parts of the country. You can do that, or different cities like the Baths and the Stratfords and stuff. No big deal. But I just want you to know that you don't have to drive it. It makes it a lot better, but it's not something that should keep you from enjoying this beautiful part of the country.
How long is a train ride from London to Byberry? London directions from Byberry? A couple hours. Oh. On a train, it's more like 4 hours. Just hop on a bus.
As a driver in the Cotswolds, I will warn you, don't forget to keep your eyes out and your mirrors in, because the roads are very narrow and you have a lot of people that are walking here. You've got a lot of people that are enjoying the time, a lot of tourists that are taking in the towns and the villages, but also the walkways. So don't close your eyes. Always be paying attention. Don't play around with stuff.
Don't hit any pedestrians.
Especially when you think about it, you know, because remember, look right before you cross the street kind of stuff. And so some of the tourists forget that because they've been in London and they just grab, you know, a tour out here. So I just want you to keep everybody safe. And I'm not joking about making reservations, because literally in this bar, everything's reserved for lunch. So lunch or dinner, don't be afraid to make reservations in the Cotswolds. Now follow along with
there was a flyer
about making reservations, because literally in this bar, everything's reserved for lunch. So lunch or dinner, don't be afraid to make reservations in the Cotswolds.
It looks totally empty to me, Mark.
And I want to tell you, don't forget to eat some of the good stuff around here.
Lucy's Tea
The Cotswolds
Room.
are famous for their cheese and their dairy products, so any of those things you can find when you're here, you're going to have a great time eating those. The bread is fantastic as well when you are here. I mean, I have actually ordered just a basket of bread from the Cotswolds because it was that tasty, and the butter along with it. You can't go wrong, and the cheese, I mean, it's fantastic. But of course, you see all the sheep when you're around here. And when I tell you, don't diss the sheep, because one, that wool built all these beautiful churches, built all these beautiful towns, because that was a big, huge money maker back in the day. But also, don't diss them because they're beautiful to see when you go around. But especially don't diss them because they're super tasty.
Diss the sheep?
Yes, you will have a lot of lamb on the menu when you are here, and I do suggest you have some. Don't feel bad when you drive by and you see some and just go, they look tasty later. Because if you don't want to get that, there's also really good pork when you're here, because the Gloucester Old Spot pigs really turn into really tasty pork dishes, especially the sausages. Also, if you're here in Burton on the Water, don't forget you can enjoy lots of people on bank holidays, but on the non-bank holidays, there's all these little bridges here you go over, a bunch of pubs to enjoy, so it is a kind of a nice place to visit. But yeah, during the week, for sure. But they make for an option for places to stay, and if you're going to be exploring them and driving around, you would probably want to have a place that has, you know, parking and places where you can go and stay. So that's nice.
Yeah,
another place I really think you need to make sure you stop at is Tewkesbury, because Tewkesbury, you go to the Abbey there. Well, the historic center is beautiful, okay?
Tewkesbury.
But that's where the River Avon and the River Severn kind of meet together. They come together, which is beautiful. But it's the Abbey there you really want to see, which is just gorgeous.
Okay. Where's Tewkesbury? How do you spell that, first of all? Tewkesbury? Oh my god. No. Tewkesbury. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. Tewkesbury. Oh, there's the cathedral he's talking about. Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Tewkesbury. Got it.
So another highlight I got to say is if you're coming to Dover Hill, don't miss the view here. Though, sadly, that is not the Cotswolds, because this is really where it ends, and you can actually see where the bedrock of limestone stops, and boom, that's when you have the hill behind, like this hill behind me, and then you have these views here. It's beautiful when you're here. So if you're coming through, this is the very northern part of the Cotswolds. So this is like where it ends, and then you can see.
What determines the Cotswolds?
You got Birmingham's probably over there, Stratford's over there.
What determines the Cotswolds? Why is it a physical thing? Like a mountain range or a valley? It's a region along a range of rolling hills that rise from the meadows of the upper River Thames to an escarpment. What does that mean? A steep slope or long cliff that forms as a result of faulting or erosion and separates two relatively level areas having different elevations. Oh, like that. Okay. So yeah, it's an area that's elevated above the Severn Valley. Okay. The name Cotswold is popularly believed to mean the sheep enclosure in rolling hillsides. Incorporating the term wold, meaning hills, compare also the weald, meaning forest. Hillside forest? Okay. Very
so you
cool.
can see quite a bit on a nice day like this. On a nice day, it's not so nice. But you'll notice the rolling hills, and you get this flat land when you get out, so you really know when you're out. And I think that's why it's important. I want to tell you, with those rolling hills, don't forget to bring some Dramamine if you're driving through or if you're taking a tour, because if you don't like those kind of up and down winding roads, it can get to you a bit. I won't lie to you. Sometimes you're like, ooh, it's a little roller coaster hill there. You get that little shaky feeling in your stomach.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's one thing I really want to tell you. And also, I think it's important for you to realize is don't think that it's a small area when you're coming here. I mean, it's a 2-hour drive from here in the north at Dover Hill. If you want to go all the way down to Bath where it kind of ends, it's a 2-hour drive. So you have a lot here. So maybe don't try to do all the Cotswolds in a day. I mean, you can do a day tour when you're here, but if you really want to see it, you're going to need more time to visit all those little towns in the north and the south of the Cotswolds. So just have that in mind when you're factoring in your planning for coming here. Hey, another donut I have for you is don't forget to look out for the poo-poo when you walk around, because when you're walking through the fields, you're going on the pathways and all the hiking trails and stuff, you know, it's nature. And the sheep, as tasty as they are, they have to do nature too. So make sure
they have to do nature
attention so you can step over things and not ruin your shoes and make your rental car or your tour bus smell like the sheep.
That's good advice in anywhere. Watch out for poop. Oh. I was just going to look up Bath, because I don't know where that is. I've heard of it many times. Yes, okay, so that's like at the south part of the Cotswolds. Wait, is that the Cotswolds, this green area? I'm going to say yes it is. I'm going to go out on a limb. What is up with Bath? The Roman bath? They're literally baths there? No wonder it's called Bath. Wild. Hey, here's a place for $130. Oh, $125 tour to Bath from London. Okay, would I rather just drive there myself? Take a train? I could make that drive. Well, y'all now I want to go to the Cotswolds and stay in Bath. I gotta narrow this down. I gotta plan a trip. I need to get a passport. Y'all want to go to the Cotswolds, and Liverpool, and Manchester, and York. It's so beautiful. There's so many people there right then. Yeah, probably be better to go in the fall or the winter. Well, this was good information. Yeah, thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.